Chapter 642, Furious Debate. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. After entering the Spiritual Wind Pavilion, Zhang Yuochen called Blackie out for a discussion. Zhang Yuochen said, "We have entered the Yin and Yang sect. Can you perceive the location of that altar? I'll estimate first." Blackie reached two claws out and drew some crooked lines on the ground. All the lines connected together and quickly formed a compass 2 meters in diameter. Swoosh! As he unleashed genuine Qi, the compass suddenly emitted a white radiance, which rose from the ground and began to slowly rotate. On the third rotation, the compass stopped and shot a light toward the southwest. Zhang Yuochen rummaged through the study and soon found a book from the shelf called The Geography of the Mountains and Rivers of the Yin and Yang Sect. The Yin and Yang Sect is divided into 3 palaces and 72 yards. In the southwest of Long Living Yard is Sunny U Yard, Demon Seal Yard, and the Supreme Pure Palace. Sunny U Yard was the closest to Long Living Yard and the Supreme Pure Palace was the farthest. Zhang Yuochen pointed at the map and said, "Since the compass was directed to the southwest, let's investigate from the closest, Sunny U Yard." 15 minutes later, he remembered all the contents of the book by using his strong spiritual power. Then, he left the Spiritual Wind Pavilion and headed for Sunny U Yard first. Just as he walked out of the gate, a white-robed outer disciple approached. He looked to be in his early 20s and he bowed to Zhang Yuochen. "Elder Brother Lin, the Lord ordered you to go to Zixia Temple." The Lord was the master of Zixia Sacred Mountain. All outer disciples, indoor disciples, and saint disciples had to take orders from him. Zhang Yuochen frowned while asking, "Now?" "Yes, right now," the outer disciple answered. "Please lead the way." Zhang Yuochen did not plan to visit the Lord, but he had no choice. After all, he was a disciple of the Yin and Yang sect now, so he could not disobey the Lord's order. He could only postpone investigating the altar. Zixia Temple was located on a hillside of Zixia Sacred Mountain and was built with sapphire bamboo. The Taoist temple was not towering or grandiose and had no unusual places. Just as he arrived outside the Taoist temple, he felt a powerful pressure, as if a mighty holy aura faintly had fallen on his shoulders. The Lord must be a half-saint. He was shocked and immediately became cautious. He attempted to run the thin holy Qi inside and adjust his temperament. He tried to be more arrogant, which would be more consistent with Lin Yue's character. He entered Zixia Temple and saw dozens of people inside. All of them were elders of Zixia's sacred mountain, and most of them had reached the Fish Dragon realm. Besides them, Zhao Hana, Xu Chen, and the indoor disciples who returned together with him stood on both sides of the Taoist temple. A human-shaped stone figure stood right above the Taoist temple. It was about 2 meters high, had a robe on and a sword that hung on its waist. It appeared to be in a solemn atmosphere. The holy aura was emanating from this stone figure. "Unfilial disciple, how dare you not kneel down and bow to the Lord's stone figure?" A cyan-robed elder opened his eyes wide and reproached Zhang Yuochen harshly. Zhang Yuochen looked up at the gray-haired old Taoist and guessed that he had to be Lin Yue's master. Zhang Yuochen stood straight in the center of the Taoist temple and said with dignity, "Why haven't you kneeled down and bowed in front of the Lord's stone figure?" The gray-haired old Taoist suddenly stood up and quickly ran his genuine Qi inside to form a vortical wind force around his body. He said coldly, "Will you kneel down or not?" The gray-haired old Taoist was very powerful and had reached the 7th change in the Fish Dragon realm. His momentum burst out and condensed into mighty Qi billows that rolled toward Zhang Yuochen. Rumble. All of a sudden, the airflow in the entire Taoist temple shook violently. Under the momentum being exuding from the gray-haired old Taoist, Zhao Hana, Xu Chen, and the other indoor disciples who just stood at the edge were suppressed and unable to move. It was obvious that Zhang Yuochen, who was in the center of that momentum, would need to bear formidable pressure. If Zhang Yuochen were Lin Yue, who had only reached the completion of Heaven Realm, he would not be able to bear the pressure and would kneel down immediately. But now, Zhang Yuochen had no fear of the gray-haired old Taoist and had not been suppressed by his momentum into kneeling down. Zhang Yuochen stood still and said unyieldingly, "Master, if you want me to kneel down, shouldn't you give me a reason?" The gray-haired old Taoist was astonished when he saw that Zhang Yuochen had dissolved his momentum without effort. In the Taoist temple, Several of the elders from Xixia's sacred mountain had been sitting in repose with their eyes closed. Now, they opened their eyes and stared at Lin Yue in surprise. Lin Yue was able to withstand the momentum of a monk at the 7th change in the Fish Dragon realm, so he had definitely broken through the limit of martial arts and had reached the 1st change in the Fish Dragon realm. After all, Lin Yue was just 36 years old. A monk at the 1st change in the Fish Dragon realm at 36 years old was already very excellent. Thus, these elders felt disbelief in the Yin and Yang sect. As long as someone broke through to the Fish Dragon realm before 60 years old, he was able to be an apprentice to a half-saint and become a saint's disciple. If someone broke through the Fish Dragon realm after 60 years old, he would have little potential and limited achievements. He was able to be dubbed a cyan-robed elder at most. All these elders in the Taoist temple were the lowest elders, cyan-robed elders. Originally, they had been prepared to deal with Lin Yue, destroy his cultivation, and expel him from the mountain gate. But now, Lin Yue had broken through to the Fish Dragon realm when he was only 36 years old. He could immediately become a saint's disciple, whose status would be superior to theirs. No one dared to punish him, except the Lord. Zhao Yibing changed his countenance. He never expected that Lin Yue had broken through to the Fish Dragon realm. All the elders in the Taoist temple knew that Lin Yue had reached the Fish Dragon realm, but those indoor disciples did not know that. Xichen always hated Lin Yue, so he would not miss the chance to add insult to injury when he knew the elders wanted to punish Lin Yue. Xichen took a step forward and said severely, "Lin Yue, you're an indoor disciple of the Yin and Yang sect. How could you kneel down and beg for mercy to an evil cultivator? We felt so humiliated. Senior Uncle Master asked you to kneel down and bow to the Lord's stone figure and you refused. Do you think that the Lord is inferior to an evil cultivator? How can such a cowardly person like you be a disciple of the Yin and Yang sect?" The elders had gathered in Xixia temple because Zhao Yibing had invited them here to punish Lin Yue. The reason Zhao Yibing did so was that he wanted to shirk his responsibility for losing the treasure hunting compass to Lin Yue. Zhao Yibing secretly thought, since I have offended Lin Yue, I should take this opportunity to expel him from the sect. I can't give him a chance to become a saint's disciple. If Lin Yue became a saint's disciple, how could Zhao Yibing stay in the Yin and Yang sect in the future? Zhao Yibing said with dignity, "Lin Yue, it's alright that you kneeled down to an evil cultivator. I don't care about such a coward like you. However, you betrayed me and caused the treasure hunting compass to be taken away by the evil cultivator. Do you know that the treasure hunting compass is a treasure of Xixia Sacred Mountain? Elders, can you tell me how to punish him?" A hook-nosed elder said indifferently, "Lin Yue not only humiliated our Yin and Yang sect but also betrayed his master. So, the lightest punishment is to break his legs, destroy his cultivation, and expel him from the mountain gate." The indoor disciples headed by Xichen suddenly sniggered. If Lin Yue was expelled from the sect, they would have the chance to become the senior brother and would be able to pursue the junior sisters openly. Zhang Yuochen just arrived at the Yin and Yang sect, so he was unwilling to be expelled from it. The gray-haired old Taoist said hoarsely, "Lin Yue, do you still want to say something?" "Of course." Zhang Yuochen looked at Zhao Yibing and said, "Junior Uncle Master Zhao, you said that I kneeled down to an evil cultivator, I betrayed you, and I caused the loss of the treasure hunting compass. But, did you mention the reason? Who brought us into that dangerous situation?" "What's the reason?" Zhao Yibing was a little scared but still pretended to be calm. Zhang Yuochen laughed and said, "Junior Uncle Master, on that day, you used the treasure hunting compass to find the aura of a holy stone nearby. Then, you desired to steal the holy stone. As a result, you offended a powerful evil cultivator. Do I have that right?" Zhao Yibing gritted his teeth. "So what? The evil cultivator's holy stone is of unknown origin. Why can't I take it away?" "You did not take it away but stole it." Zhang Yuochen sneered and said, "This respected Cyan elder of the Yin and Yang sect acted as a thief to steal an evil cultivator's holy stone. If someone spreads this news, won't the Yin and Yang sect be thoroughly discredited?" Upon hearing his words, all the elders present suddenly frowned. Some elders glanced at Zhao Yibing in disgust. Zhang Yuochen continued, "The evil master is so powerful that the number 4 killer of the Blood Cloud sect, Liu O'Shea, was defeated by him. Junior Uncle Master Zhao was seriously injured by him with one movement and lost his fighting strength. Everyone in the Taoist temple gasped. The number 4 killer of the Blood Cloud sect, Liu She, was a well-known evil master. All the elders present had heard of him. That evil master defeated Liu She. Since he was so powerful, how did you escape from him? Asked an older cyan-robed elder. Zhang Yuochen sighed and answered, Junior Uncle Master Zhao wanted to steal his holy stone, so he became infuriated and proclaimed that he had to kill all of us. In order to save everyone, I had to kneel down to him. I certainly know that men should have dignity and not grovel or bow down. Moreover, moral integrity is more important than life. So, I would die rather kneel down. As the senior brother among the indoor disciples from Zixia Sacred Mountain, how can I bear to watch my junior fellow apprentices and junior sister apprentices get into trouble due to Junior Uncle Master Zhao and be killed by an evil cultivator? Junior Uncle Master Zhao has already lived most of his life, so he can easily not care about his own life. However, all the junior fellow apprentices and junior sister apprentices are still young and still have a long way to go. I would rather be insulted to save their lives. Zhang Yuochen heaved a deep sigh and looked at the more than 10 indoor disciples standing nearby, showing a rather sad look.